Welcome to Stream Your Church. My name is Justin Nava, one half or one third of the church media guys. In this series, we're going to be talking about the basics, the intermediate, going into the advanced of how to stream your church. And today, we're going to show you how you can stream your church this Sunday using what you got or how to use what you already have to get streaming better. With me is my partner in crime, Dave Curley. Dave, what's going on, man?
Lots of stuff. I mean, I got a list. I mean, do you need that, or do you want to talk like right this second?
What?
Hey, everybody! glad to be here. Glad to be doing this mega simulcast across a whole bunch of different channels here. It's awesome. I love it, and I'm just glad to be here and talk tech.
Yes, and today we're kind of this is episode 1 officially. Last week we kind of came on and just clarified some definitions, shared a little bit about us, and today we're kicking off building a proper foundation. We're talking about the 4 ways you can live stream. This is how you can start live streaming this Sunday, depending on what you have, what you already have in your pocket, what you already have invested, maybe the computers, the equipment that you have, but then also defining a couple other things like live events versus quick hits. So
Right.
that's the first thing that I want to kind of clarify is the different kinds of events. And we also got some slides here so you can easily follow along. So I want to introduce it quickly by just talking about the 2 different ways that we stream, the 2 different types of live video, live events and quick hits. Because so often churches, we just want to stream our services, but that's not the end of it, right? There are a couple other ways that you can start streaming. Right, Dave?
Yes, there are. Yes, I'm sorry, I didn't know you were pitching to me. I was you to finish the.
Toss it up, catch it quickly before it hits the ground.
Absolutely, yes.
So,
There are 2 types of live video. There's the actual live stream, the live event stream, the more formal production, and then there's what I've been calling for a few years the quick hits, which is kind of like the in the moment, grab it and hit it, and hey, we're live doing this, that, and the other, and look, hey, say hi, everybody, that kind of stuff. Those are the quick hits.
right. So the live events are going to be longer form. They're going to be more formal. They're going to hopefully be higher production value. These are things like our church services, our conferences, basically things that are happening live in front of an audience, usually pre-COVID. And then the quick hits. This is the stuff that I don't see enough of in the church, to be honest. These are shorter form, more raw, almost kind of like this, but can be very engaging despite the lower production values. So like things like prayer, things like I wrote a whole bunch of stuff in my notes here. Devotionals, quick updates. Something I love, a local church here that they do is every Wednesday since basically the pandemic stuff started. They said every Wednesday we're going to go live on YouTube and talk about what we're going to do this weekend. Are we going to meet in person? Are we going to have Sunday school? What are the things that we're putting in place? And these are quick 3-minute, 5-minute videos, but quick hits that doesn't require setting up a stage. It can be done from anywhere, the office, home. There's not enough of these. And so oftentimes we talk about live streaming. We think about being in service and broadcasting the sermon and the worship and all that stuff. But live streaming doesn't just happen with these live events. It also happens with the quick hits.
Yeah, it does. And the cool thing about quick hits, if you think about them and put them in the right place in your head, they can serve, like you said, a couple of different purposes. One of them that is just like really practical is just informative communication. That doesn't mean it has to by any means. I keep encouraging my pastor. He keeps not doing it, so I'm going to have to, like waggle my finger at him or something, like he knows best. I mean, come on, he's the pastor. I keep encouraging that when we need to do something like that. For example, tonight we usually do a live stream Bible study, and it's more formal. We're in our video room. I've got him lit, really nicely. I'm using a good camera, good audio, all that sort of stuff, and it's about a 45-minute Bible study. And it's formal, but it's the atmosphere is less formal, because I'll ask a question and you'll hear me kind of echoey, whatever the mic is picking up, asking a question. We interact with the stream, things like that. But like tonight, we're not going to do it because he's got several meetings that he's got to go to, and his day is just slammed. So he says, he messaged me, hey, can we put up a graphic to let everybody know that we're not going to be doing it? My response is, hey, you need to go live on your phone and say, hey, we usually do our live stream on Wednesday nights. However, I'm not going to be able to do it, but I just want to let you guys know that things are going well and doing this, and I've got several meetings to go to and stuff. And by the way, could you guys pray for me for this or something? Just something that is going to communicate with the audience, and more importantly, and this is really important, these quick hits, they're engagement builders. Okay, they're not necessarily something that people are going to share and do that kind of engagement with and leave tons of comments and stuff like that. But what they are is a relationship builder that happens. Think of it like a phone call or a glorified voice message that's more personal, because you're actually seeing the person who's doing it. And there's a lot of value to that. Now, that's not something that you're going to be putting on your Facebook page for the public to see and all that. That may be something that you do more in the private group for the members of your church. You don't want the most recent thing on your Facebook page to be, you saying, that, hey, we're not doing something tonight, and by the way, I stubbed my toe. Can y'all pray for me? However, in the private group, that's exactly what that is for. That's that more one-to-many, more intimate type of conversation, because it is it's a what's the word I'm looking for? A bound audience, a captured audience for a specific thing. It's not random people who may have liked the page. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. So some of the things that live stream allows you to share your message beyond the walls. People who can't be there in service can join live. People who are searching out your church, if they find you on social media, they can engage with these quick hits, ask you questions, or they can view a previously live recording. You just are basically building your audience. It provides a way for people to continue coming to church in a non-threatening way, especially with the pandemic going on and concerns with that. And then also another underutilized method of live is to continue the conversation. I feel like churches have been grasping at this idea, and there's a couple ways that it works. And I'm sure a lot of the people in our audience, let me know if you've done something like this, where you have the sermon on Sunday morning, and then you say, well, how about our small groups continue talking about the sermon on Wednesday or on Thursday or whenever they meet. But also working in the church since 2006, whatever the math is. Actually, next month it will be 14 years since I've had official staff positions in church. There was not a single Sunday where the pastor steps off and I'm like, hey, how'd it go? And he's like, boy, I wish I had another 5 minutes, or that really wasn't clear. Or I walk in the office Monday and pastor says, I got an email from Emily so-and-so. She said, she was really confused about this thing I said, and I wish I just had another 5 minutes to explain it. Hey, what a great way to do that, and to go live on Monday, clarify. I mean, how great would it be too if you're broadcasting the sermon live stream, but also to the people in the audience, and you say, hey guys, was I clear on this? Was I not? Did you understand that? Let me expound upon the story a little bit. And if you're watching live, by all means, email us at hello@BillAndTed'sExcellentChurch.com and let us know if you have any questions or if there's anything to clarify. Sometimes too, you'll give a message and people will I want to hear more, or is that story true? Or what else can you tell me about Goliath and how tall he was, or what other stories can corroborate that? And you can follow up with that. And you can follow up on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday and say, hey guys, I had a lot of questions about, this one passage on money. Let's talk about that. And what a great way for us to do that the pastor gets control of the message and can continue to expound upon it and just connect with people. I think that's really, really cool. So let us know in the chat, are you doing any quick hit videos? Doesn't have to come from the pastor either. If you have a good culture, where you can say, kids minister, you can go live in the group. Even the communications director, feel free to go live and clarify some announcements or send this message for me. There's nothing wrong with that. The pastor doesn't have to do everything. You could have a lead elder or a deacon, someone like that, to do that. So how do we live stream? Well, that's kind of the main discussion of today. How do we live stream? And we're going to be talking about the 4 live streaming modes. These are 4 ways that you can live stream starting today. And Dave, correct me if I'm wrong, you came up with these modes. These are your idea out of your brain grapes.
Yeah, well, these ideas are kind of floating around. I named them.
You named them. You
But
put a name to
yeah,
them. You were like
yes,
Adam saying, "That's a pig. That
exactly. Yeah,
is a
and the
worm.
Lord, the Lord going, no, that's a hedgehog.
That's an aardvark with 2 A's."
That's right. It has
Because Adam spoke English.
exactly.
Yeah.
He did.
Real quick, St. Paul Church in Little River said they continue the conversation during their Bible study on Zoom each Wednesday. So that's really
Good.
cool. And, that's really great that we're continuing that. And live streaming just gives you another way to do that. So how can you
I've
live? Go ahead, Dave.
I've seen churches that when they're doing some type of series, especially a series that may garner a lot more discussion. For example, like a marriage series, they may have like a 6-part marriage series that they do on Sunday mornings, but then on Monday evening they do a 30-minute live Q&A with the pastor and the family pastor, and just do like a two shot, them sitting in front of a nice backdrop, sitting on a couple of stools, and just taking questions, just a live Q&A type thing. That is a perfect example of continuing the conversation. And then through social media, going further, whether you clip out individual questions and answers, or clip parts of the sermon or something like that, and then throw them out through social media for the rest of the week as you make the transition from the previous topic over to setting up for the next topic. That's all part of continuing the conversation.
100%. So let's talk about how the easiest way we can go live, in fact, go live by Sunday. This is what we call selfie mode. This is, I mean, as raw as you can get. And unfortunately, there's like a little bit of a stigma when you try to go to selfie mode. People think that it's, too casual, too raw, too low quality. But this is 100% a legit way to go live.
Right. It's a completely legit way to go live. It's a idea behind selfie mode. It serves a certain purpose. Okay. You can do a formal live stream via selfie mode, which is, when we say selfie mode, if you follow me on Facebook, right before we do these live shows, before I come over here and hit go live, I jump on an iPhone, and to my personal profile, I just go live, and I do something silly. I stick my eye right up against the thing and I pull back, and I go, "Hey, everybody, we're getting ready to go live. This is the second episode of our Stream Your Church series that we're doing in partnership with eCamm. And we're going to be talking today about the 4 modes of live streaming." And did you even know that there's 4 modes of live streaming? And actually, I'm using one of them right now, and we're going to be talking about that. So go to churchtrainingacademy.com/YouTube and join us. And it's very informal, very just, hey, stream of consciousness from me about whatever it is. These are the quick hits. The selfie mode is the kind of quick hit type of thing, whether it's like I was talking about a few minutes ago. I want your pastor, when something has changed or he's got a quick update or something like that, to use video. And I know, look, here's the deal. They're stepping back to a larger issue. Pastors, ministers, church staff, all of you got to get over yourself. I mean, you just do. It's that simple. If you're scared about it, if you're afraid you're going to look silly or something like that, you're going to. That's okay. We don't, as people who go to church, we don't look for our spiritual leaders, by and large, to be people that we can't relate with. I'm looking for someone who is stuffy, who is so formal and so pious and so high-minded that, there's a glow about the back of their head. I want them on such a high pedestal that I will never be able to identify with them. That's what I'm looking for in my church leadership. No, nobody says that. Nobody says that at all. You're a real person just like everybody else. Okay? So own it. So grab your phone, hit record, and do it wrong. And who cares? Nobody cares. Every single person in your church that sees it is gonna have a couple of different reactions. They're gonna go, he's figuring it out, or they're gonna go, someone's gonna go, what an idiot. Okay, well, the what an idiot person, I mean, pray for them, but they really don't get the, you know, ability to speak into your life. Okay, you have to look at it like that. And then everyone else is going to go, cool, he's using this. This is awesome. And you may encourage them to do it. But just go live and talk.
Yeah, it's almost like there's a barrier because when you're raising up or when you're mentoring or discipling someone who's what quote unquote surrendered to the ministry, that's a term that we use in church, but someone who's trying to be a pastor or trying to come up to be a leader, student worshiper or whatever, we often pass them the reins for one Sunday maybe and get them on stage, or maybe they speak at a youth event or a youth Sunday school or something like that. We pass them the reins, and of course the first time is always terrible. They don't know how to hold a mic and a Bible at the same time. They don't know to eat the mic, as we say. They hold it too far back. When you watch the first time I ever led worship in my church, it was recorded. The worship pastor was gone, and I did worship, and I was just had a mic and I was singing hymns, and I had a pianist accompany me, and as you watch it, it was okay. But as I started fast forwarding and stuff, this was recorded on tape. But and of course, I'm coming through your system. Here we go. Okay, so so as I'm singing, I'm kind of rocking back and forth, and the whole time, and that's all I can see is I'm just sitting here doing this. And then of course, when you fast forward and rewind it, it's just this and I had no idea, and it was not good. My eyes were glued to the screen in the back. But that doesn't stop us when we do live preaching for the first time, or we encourage our young people to come up and step up and do something in the church. It is awkward sometimes. Why do we think as leaders, as pastors, that that's not acceptable on digital? Like 100%. I have never seen a pastor go live for the first time and sit there, and even when it's like, or actually it's more like, oh, hang on a sec, I got to do this, and you see their finger on the screen and it looks all awkward. I haven't seen a single person goes, Pastor, this sucks. Stop it. This is gross. You don't know what you're doing. Just stick to the pulpit. I've never seen that. Dave, have you seen that?
No, I've never seen that. And if you get something like that, if you get some sort of feedback from something like that, that gives you an opportunity to help that person with attitude issues. And seriously, I know that sounds trite and sounds, kind of jerkish. But there are people out there that are just jerks. You know them. You've got them in your church.
Hopefully you've got them in your church.
Yeah, I have never come across a minister that can't give me a name, and tell me how old that person is, and even tell me where they live. There's that one person in the church that is really difficult and not encouraging, and thinks they know everything, and thinks that just everything you do is wrong. Those are our challenges as ministers. Those are our challenges as people in the ministry, is learning how to deal with those kind of people. And when you put yourself out there, whether you're putting yourself out there on the stage, whether you're putting yourself out there online or through video or through your Instagram channel or whatever, giving your testimony, whatever it is, when you put yourself out there, just be prepared. There's going to be people that are going to be critics. Who cares? I mean, and this is something, Justin, because I've had to deal with this as I've grown as a host and as a content creator, and as someone who is out there on social media, trying to let everybody benefit from my decades of wisdom, whatever you want to call it. One of the things that I've had to deal with is there are people that are negative, and what's the absolute worst case scenario? What's the worst thing that can happen if someone says they don't like what you're doing, or you did it wrong, or that offended me, or I don't like it, or you shouldn't do that? What's the worst thing that can? I mean, they're not going to burn your house down. They're not going to. I mean, what are they going to do? I mean, leave your church? That's unfortunate. They have a much more core problem than the fact that you went live and did it wrong.
So I'm going to share something real quick, and then we'll move on from selfie mode, because selfie mode is kind of the biggest barrier to start. A lot of
Yeah.
churches, a lot of pastors will say, well, I don't have $10,000 for equipment, so I can't live stream. And then they say,
Yeah.
well, I can do Selfie, but it might not work. But what are people going to say? It looks bad. I don't have a good office. I don't have a studio. I don't have a good background. I'm on a white wall. Whatever it is, I want to share a story here. I am there's a celebrity that it's a famous quote, and now I can't even remember it, but they say you can't tell what political affiliation this person has because they really focus on their topic and their education, and they don't talk about anything else. I kind of always like to be that person, and like, you know, let's get everyone on board and let's stick to the topic. But then I did a Twitter post, and it said something like, for every like this tweet gets, I will write a controversial tweet. And it got around 33 likes, which I'm thankful it didn't get more because it was retweeted a couple times. And for each one of those likes, I actually followed up with a controversial tweet. This was about a week ago. And it still randomly gets a like, and so I'll just do another controversial tweet. And you know what happened? Nothing. I lost like 4 followers, but that was it. I went back to bed. Some people said that's not okay. Some people said I disagree. Some people said you're an idiot. Some people DM'd me, but that was it, right? And I can understand that some people are not in the mindset of if they get something negative, it can keep them awake up at night. That's kind of a separate issue. But you know what? I'm still here. I'm still alive. And, you know, I realize that I can tweet a little bit more stuff that maybe some people will disagree or possibly, you know, take the wrong way. I'll still be alive. I'll still be okay.
Yeah.
And as we do selfie mode, even though it doesn't look good, the camera might be shaky. You might say, I have an iPhone 6 and it doesn't look that good. As you do it, you'll realize that it's going to be okay. You will survive. You will go to sleep at night. You will wake up just fine in the morning. B, you'll realize that the benefits extremely outweigh the risks, because you have almost nothing to lose. People that have a problem with you, they're going to have a problem with you whether you stream or not. Okay? People that need to hear the message will hear it because you decided to stream. You have almost everything to gain and almost nothing to lose. And Tawana in the YouTube chat said, you know, I'm so untechy and there's a barrier that I'm trying to get over. And, you know, once you get past that barrier, you realize that there's really not much else going on. Like, you have nothing to lose, but everything to gain from this. And that's just starting with selfie mode.
Let me, she says she's you know, so untechy and stuff. Well, she's watching this, so she knows how to get to YouTube, so that's great. And if she's following us in the Church Media Hacks group, or if she's a member of the eCamm private group, then she knows how to navigate Facebook and stuff. So, Tawana, what I want you to do is open up your phone and go to Facebook. You see this? Can you see this, Justin?
Yep.
You see?
Yeah, we can see
Facebook.
it.
Right here at the top where it says live, I hit the live button, and then I'm going to hit start live video. And it says starting live video, and it's live. See, the counter has started, and I'm showing this. And it's really boring because these people are wondering why I'm going live and do this. Hi, everybody. I'm actually live right now using this live that I'm doing right now, showing selfie mode and showing people how easy it is to go live, helping them understand that it's not super duper technical. You literally hit the live button and then hit start live. It's that simple. So anyway, hi, Jordan. See, people are already starting to show up.
Yeah, I got a ding on my phone. Dave Curley is live.
Yeah. So it was that, and then I hit finish, and then my watch just told me I'm finished, and then I'm going to hit share, and it's done. Next. That's as techy as you need to do. You need to be able to put the passcode in your phone, launch up Facebook, and hit the live button, and then hit start. I mean, it's really that simple.
And it's just a matter of starting. I have a former pastor who would go out with his Bible in the morning and do a devotional, and he would say, I wish I could get some guys to come to this. And it's just like, well, just live stream it. Like, they can't come over, or they won't come over because of the pandemic. So live stream it. Now he's got like 30 guys joining him on this morning devotional and chatting and engaging as he studies the Bible himself. I mean, and it's just using a phone. Right. And I told him, I was like, maybe you can get a 360 camera. I don't know. But you can build it from there, build an audience from there. That's so easy. We got to get moving on from the other live stream modes.
Hang on a sec.
Go ahead.
Hang on just a second.
Okay.
One of the things that one of our viewers, Dwight Lazarus, says, is that I'm really bad. I'm like my own worst critic and stuff. And, I'm the barrier. Um, just ask yourself. We've all been in the situation where we're sitting in church or we're sitting somewhere in a big public area, and somebody is performing, right? Somebody's doing something, whether it's somebody doing their first solo in church, they're singing a song, or someone's doing the national anthem at a game or something like that. And when you're sitting there and you're watching this happen and you notice that they start to make a mistake, is your instinct and the instinct of the people around you to start jeering and booing and throwing things at them? No. What happens to you? Every single one. If you're not this person, leave a comment, okay? Every single person in that room is cheering for that person. They're all saying, you got this. If someone starts to cry and they get scared or do something like that, everybody in that room is rooting for them. And they're not going to say, boy, she really messed that up. Wow, I can't wait. What a dumpster fire. That was awesome. Nobody's doing that. They're all cheering for you. So when you make a mistake, everybody who's watching you is going, come on, you got this. You got this. Just hold the phone a little steadier. That's good. There you go. Yeah, they're all cheering for you.
Yeah, we had some issues pre-show here, and did anyone say, "Oh, these guys are dumb. What a bunch of dummies. You guys dumb, dumb, and the dumb."
I came here to learn how to do this, and these guys are dumb.
No, everyone was like, "We can't hear." Okay, now we can hear. Okay, now it looks good. No, he's still choppy. Like, I mean, so many people stuck around because they wanted to hear us. They wanted to support us. They love eCamm. eCamm loves us for some reason, and it's like, hey, let's keep it going. So people want you to succeed. Just remember that was my mantra when I go live. People want me to succeed. So let's give them something to be proud of. All right. So once you have selfie mode really kind of hampered down, you may want to up the production. You may want to, maybe you're stuck with a 6. Maybe you want to go widescreen. Maybe you want some stability as you're moving around, maybe capturing some youth events. Next up, we have what's called indie mode. Dave, tell us a little bit about indie mode.
I should have got some stuff.
That's okay. I got it on screen so they can kind of see some images.
Yeah. So indie mode is basically where you take your phone and start treating it more like a proper camera. And in fact, Justin or Chris or somebody in there put a link to the 2 videos that we have on using your mobile phone and getting better quality. I released one last week, and I released one actually a few months ago. Basically, you're going to treat your camera just like it's a real your phone, just like it's a real camera, which means you're going to put it on a tripod, whether you're using like just a simple little clip or something a little bit more elaborate, like a full-on holder that has like different mount points, cold shoes on it, so you can mount accessories. But the idea is that your phone is, if it's 5 or 6 years old, then it's within the realm of a really good camera and a really good device that you can create content with. So treat it as such. There's clips where you can put, in fact, gosh, I should have got the stupid my bag that had all this sort of stuff. The phone case that I'm using is from a company called Moment, and that phone case has mount points on here where I can actually twist in lenses. So I have a lens that I bought from Moment for about $150. That's a cinematic quality anamorphic lens, which is one of those lenses that makes like the super wide, with like movie kind, and when the lights hit it a certain way, it gets a lens flare on it, and it looks cinematic. I've got this phone, and it's got a good camera on it, and I've added a really good lens that has really good glass. Now I get really good video, whether I'm shooting it from a tripod, using it handheld, or whatever. You're treating your camera like a real camera, like you would a DSLR or a higher end video camera. Which means the microphone that's built onto your camera, when you're up close, it's really good. If you're holding it right here, where the only thing they see on the screen is your eye, it's a really good mic. But you can get like a lavalier mic that you plug into it, and so if you have it on a tripod and it's facing you, and you have a microphone that's either like a shotgun mic that you can mount on it, or a lavalier microphone, you get much better quality. So you can be a little bit further back from the phone, have it actually, the camera have it actually framed up nicely, and get a really good shot and get really good audio. So when we talk about indie mode for doing live streaming, there's different devices that you can get. Like there's a thing called an iRig. That's the name of the company that puts it out, and it's a little box that lets you plug in like an XLR mic cable, or they've actually got some that have like 2 or 3 inputs on them. So you can actually like a little mixer that you're plugging into your phone, and strap it or mount it onto the tripod or the stand that you have it on, and then have a couple of microphones going, or maybe a feed coming from your mixer. You could have it going into there. And so now you're actually getting better quality sound. You're treating it like a phone. You may have a little telephoto lens that you have on there, or you may have it a wide angle lens if you need, or whatever. And you, you've spent a little bit of money, and you're getting a whole lot more quality, and you're able to live stream, or take it and shoot stories, shoot testimonies, shoot your announcement videos, anything like that. But we call it indie mode because it's kind of like an independent filmmaker, kind of scrapping pieces together and trying to wrangle the best quality they can with the lowest budget that they can.
Yeah, and this works well for tablets too. You can really upgrade your
Oh,
tablet. They sell different
yeah,
rigs for tablets. So if you don't want to use your phone, me personally, I'm monitoring the chat on my phone. I'm engaging with the
yeah.
chat. I might be expecting a text. I don't want to be using my phone and then the nursery calls me, right? Because my daughter's acting up or something. So yeah, I like to use my tablet, and of course you can buy the rigs, all the same stuff, same plugins, same photo lenses. It's just sized differently, so you can do really well with your tablet. And also indie mode, the equipment is not just used for live streaming. I just want to throw that out there. So you can actually package all that, pass it off to your youth pastor or youth intern, and they can take it with them to camps or Disciple Now or concerts, and they can get really good recording using the same rig, do really good testimonial videos. Quick tip, if after your summer camp is done, before you go home, get testimonials from your students on how it was, how it went, what changed with them, how did they enjoy it, and that you can use that in the future to promote or to just, sing praises of what God's doing. You can take that with you, so you're not trying to film a testimonial video like, yeah, my hands are getting tired. You've got the rig, you've got the tripod. You can get some really good quality stuff from just your phone or your tablet.
And the cool thing is that most people will not know the difference. In fact, there have been times that I have shot. In fact, Justin, if you guys go look up Tate Springs Baptist Church on YouTube. We really started like pushing our YouTube channel once we hit the crisis and kind of had to go completely virtual. One of the things that we would do is we would shoot everything on Thursday. So we would shoot a praise and worship service, and we would then shoot the pastor and then the openings and closings and stuff like that. And I'd edit everything together. When we were shooting the worship service, I had several different cameras. I had like I have a Panasonic GH4 that I had kind of catching the wide shot of our praise team, and then I would have a camera on a slider. So I've got a motorized slider that I can program to go from one side to the other and change focal points and do all this sort of stuff. So I set up a routine that thing just went through back and forth, showing you really cool. Sliders are fun. They're really neat. But then I had this, my DJ Osmo Mobile, and I put my phone on there, and I put that anamorphic lens that I was talking about that fits on my Moment case, and I would run around and just shoot B-roll and stuff, and do motion shots, and do like crane shots and all kinds of stuff like that. And when people watched it, I'm not kidding, people in our church actually thought that was happening live. They had, and I had to put a thing that said, hey, previously recorded, just because some people actually thought we were doing this live because the quality was so good. And a lot of the shots that I used were not those static shots, but were coming off my phone. You can really mac out your phone and get some great quality. Works for live streaming, works for shooting. So indie mode.
Yeah, and we're all about getting more uses out of the equipment. So you're investing in probably some more expensive equipment, but you're getting a lot more use out of it. So we really like that. Next up is what a lot of people start typically thinking about: live streaming their church services and live streaming all their live events, and that is going to be desktop mode. So
Yeah.
they're thinking we need a computer, we need some inputs, we need a camera. Tell me about desktop mode and kind of how that's the next step.
So desktop mode is actually has a couple of components to it. One component to desktop mode, especially if you are a somebody like Justin and I who does live streaming like from our studio or from our house or from our home, our office and stuff like that. Your pastor can actually start using desktop mode very easily with the computer and a webcam. So that is basically where you're not using your phone. You may or may not be using a better camera, but you just go live either like right inside Facebook, just like I did on my phone, Justin. You can do that like with your webcam, like on the desktop version. So you can put your webcam on a tripod, and you could like have your desk lamp on, and so that you get good lighting, and then just sort of hit the go live button inside the Facebook, and you're streaming to Facebook, maybe with a better quality camera, but you're not doing like a full on huge production. Desktop mode also is doing something like using a hosted service, like say StreamYard, or one of these other services that has a lot of the back end kind of already put together for you, and it makes it real easy for you to just sort of start but have better quality. So it's not the full bore ready for prime time kind of stuff, but it's after indie mode. So indie mode is we're maximizing our phone. Now we're looking to actually start doing a little bit more, maybe have some overlays. Using eCamm is a great way to get into desktop mode, because you can use it in a more formal setting like your church service. If you're using a cam link or some kind of a capture device that you can plug in your video camera to, and you run it right there on your laptop, in this case a Mac. But then you can also turn around and use it in your office, in your studio, on your kitchen table, but get much better quality. We're using eCamm for this show, so we're able to do some overlays and show you the graphics and a few other things like that. But we're not at the level where like you would be seeing on television. With eCamm, we can do some stuff that would kind of come close to that, and some people may not know the difference, but you're not like way up there at that big, huge level, which actually is the next level that we can talk about here in just a minute.
Yeah, so this is, you can use this for your church. I don't know if I've ever done the next level. I think I've only done desktop mode, but you're talking about like a separate camera, whether that's a webcam, but preferably an actual camera that you can zoom, has a lot of good quality. Like we talking about in the pre-show, Canon XA series are my favorite. But you got a camera and it's running into the computer, usually via a capture card. This basically takes your video camera and turns it into a webcam, and then you're using a software to broadcast it. That software could be straight within Facebook, right? You just go to facebook.com in your Chrome browser and you go live straight via YouTube. You go to the top right, click go live, or you use a software again in the browser like StreamYard, or you use a dedicated software on your computer like OBS, eCamm Live, which we're using right now, vMix if you're on PC. There's a dozen of them now. Especially now that we're coming out, there's all kinds of streaming software ranging from all kinds of budgets. So this is kind of where we start to get into the quote unquote professional. You could still do this for a few $100. You could probably take the laptop you already have. Chances are, if it's a Mac from the last few years, it's got at least an i5, so you can start streaming with that. If you got a laptop from the Walmart, even off the shelf. I know, Dave, I see you rolling your eyes. Okay, it's not optimal, but you can start. Okay, it's good enough. which is a
Yeah,
fine short-term goal, but ideally you want
absolutely.
to move forward. And then you're using maybe a camera you already had from your youth camps or from something else. You can piece
Yep.
together stuff and get to desktop mode and get to streaming with pretty
Yeah.
good quality. And again, it is iterative. So you iterate your setup. You get a new camera in a few months. You get a better capture card. You invest in the software. You start for free with OBS or native to the platform. And then you can iterate from there. But the next one, it doesn't end there. Kind of the end goal, for at least for me a lot of times, is what we call broadcast mode. And I think
Right.
a lot of people here have not even thought about broadcast mode. It's not even on their radar. It
Streaming
seems
because
like it might be like playing for the NFL, but it's not
right.
it's not that big of a leap. Once you're already on desktop mode, broadcast mode is literally just cruise control right around the corner. Dave, tell us about broadcast mode.
So broadcast mode, you mentioned vMix. Broadcast mode is basically where you start kicking up the level of the quality and the production value. Okay, so that's everything from having higher quality cameras, having higher quality components. In a lot of cases, it is a dedicated system that you have either built or purchased that is dedicated to live stream slash recording, broadcast slash recording. Okay. Um, so let's say we take a look at vMix. vMix is higher end software, more traditional broadcast studio kind of software that runs on a PC. So you talked about using vMix for desktop mode. Absolutely, you can use vMix for desktop mode. You can also use vMix for broadcast mode, which means you're going to build or buy a computer, a PC like an i7 or an i10 or one of the high-end Ryzen systems. You're going to put, like a Blackmagic card in there that has like 4 HDMI inputs on it, or maybe you're going to put like their 4K intensity card that has, some SDI inputs. You're going to be using higher quality stuff. You're going to use like a mixing console for it. You're going to have higher end audio. You're going to do all that sort of stuff. And this system is not going to be the system that you're going to be playing, Fortnite on. It's the system that is designed and optimized for live streaming and recording and trying to wrangle out the best possible quality. Now, you may be spending $20,000 on a TriCaster, from NewTek, which is like they're kind of like the Mac of the Apple of this space. Their hardware is designed and their software is designed to all work together. It's a closed type system. They really discourage you from doing things as simple as installing, VLC on that computer. They don't want you using their computer system for anything else other than like moving files in and out and streaming or slash recording broadcast. It's high end. It's expensive. It's rock solid. You're not going to have issues with it. If you do, then those issues are going to get resolved with a tech support person very quickly. And it's professional level stuff. Broadcast mode is also when you buy, an ATM switcher or ATM Studio from Blackmagic. You buy the $4,000 broadcast switching console that they have. And you're plugging in a whole bunch of cameras to it, and you got monitors sitting around, and you've got one big monitor doing just your multi-screen, your multi-view, where you're going to have, I see camera 1, camera 2, camera 3, camera 4, camera 5, camera 6, camera 7, camera 8, etc. And you've got other things coming in, and you're basically putting together a broadcast control room using all of this hardware. I actually saw somebody, and I thought it was really cool. They're using eCamm, bunch of Blackmagic equipment as well. So they're using to pull all the Blackmagic stuff into, and then use that as the platform to broadcast from. So they then connect to YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, whatever, restream, like we're doing, and sending out to multiple destinations. But they're using broadcast grade hardware with easy to implement software that takes that signal, treats it well, and gives it a really good polish as it sends it out. So eCamm may not be doing a lot of the mixing and heavy lifting and the overlays and stuff like that, but it is what's receiving and then sending out that thing. So I mean, it's a great little mixture of simplicity and a pretty heavy infrastructure. It's kind of impressive to actually see that. In fact, I could swear I saw that last night on eCamm's group, on the private group for eCamm Live users. But broadcast mode, I mean, you can get to quality levels of stuff like CNN and Fox and all these other big outlets. If you do it right. Some of it is really expensive. Some of it you can use equipment that is not as expensive, but you can yield expensive results, which is cool.
Yeah, you could do it with a big hot topic right now is the ATEM Mini. Hard to get your hands
Oh yeah.
on, but very affordable video switching up to a point. Of course, cameras are
Yep.
getting cheaper, or you can buy used cameras, refurbished cameras. So you could really get going broadcast mode. I probably wouldn't spend less than $1,000. I'd probably get closer to 2 or 3 minimum, but you could still get that engagement in there. In fact, you were talking about either on the show yesterday, the Church Media Guy show, or Mastermind Monday night. I can't remember. You were talking about, maybe you do, instead of purchasing a nicer camera, you purchase 2 intermediate cameras because you
Right.
can get them switching and get more engagement and get a more visually pleasing stream rather than one static camera that's just swiveling
Yep.
around. And so broadcast mode, when you do save on the hardware, like investing in an ATEM Mini versus a TriCaster, you can get going broadcast mode faster, and then you can look at putting the TriCaster maybe in next year's budget, or once you build a team, you can actually require, okay, we need an operator, we need camera people on each
Yep.
on each camera, so you can't go broadcast right away, but you can do broadcast mode to switch on your own if you do have a couple PTZs or whatever. Someone in the chat asked how much is eCamm Live on our YouTube channel. It starts. You get a 14-day free trial. So how much is eCamm? Well, to use it, first of all, I suggest just getting the 14-day trial. Let me put a link here, getecamm.com. That's our sponsored link. That helps support us as well. It's free to try. Give it a shot, work out the kinks there, and if you like it, continue. The basic plan starts at $15 a month, I think, and it's absolutely worth it because other softwares like Wirecast or vMix are going to cost you a little bit more, and you can just get started real quick with eCamm and build out from there. So I think you should try it, but that's just me because I like eCamm. I found eCamm. Dave was like, use OBS, and I'm like, no. I've really enjoyed eCamm, and I know a lot of people too. It's just, if you like tinkering, if you're gifted that way, if you have the patience, if you have the time, if you enjoy it, Dave, you enjoy tinkering and figuring out, you get that dopamine hit. I don't.
Yes.
I get the
Right.
enragement turned into the Hulk. So I like having eCamm.
And that's one of the things that I like about eCamm is that it's very easy to. And what's cool about it is when you turn on eCamm, it kind of automatically starts for you, which means if you have a webcam connected, or if you have a capture device with your camcorder, as long as your camera is on, when you turn on eCamm, it's like pretty quick that stuff is already there. You're seeing a result, and the result is, oh, my camera's live. I can see it. When you're using something like OBS, you get you get the box, and then you go and create a scene, and you add a source, and then you go create another scene, and you add another source. One of the things that's really cool about eCamm, I was playing the other day. I wanted to see, I want to play with NDI. I'm very much into NDI right now. I love the technology. I love the flexibility of it, even though it causes problems on a i5 system.
Rubbing it in.
Yeah. So I went out to the garage, and I've got a 17-inch MacBook Pro out there, and so I opened. What did I do? How did I do it? I opened up OBS on it, and I downloaded a couple of our YouTube videos, and I put them in a playlist, and I started them playing and made them on the output. Then I turned on the you have to install a plugin in OBS to enable NDI. I turned on the NDI output. Oh no, wait, I did it in ProPresenter. That's what I did. So I have ProPresenter 7. I added a couple of our videos. I started playing them, and then I made an output in there that was an NDI output. And then I came in here and I launched up eCamm, and there was my webcam just right up at the top where your sources are. Available sources to you are all showing up right there. So there was my webcam, bad angle. There was my $10,000 broadcast camera here, looking good. And then there was an NDI output playing our YouTube video that was coming via Wi-Fi over NDI Pro Presenter running on that system. I also had my vMix system going on, and look, there's the output from the vMix system. There's the other output from the vMix system, and there's the other output from the vMix system. What did eCamm do? eCamm pulled the network and said, here's sources, hold your hardware, here's sources, do with them what you'd like. And they're all just right there. I can see them. It's easy and powerful all at the same time. It's extremely cool. And I've seen people that don't have the money to put together a big, huge broadcast rig. So what they'll do is they'll use eCamm. What'd you say it was? $15 a month? Okay. $15 a month. So they install eCamm, and then they pay $300 for the ATEM Mini, and they have some video cameras. And what's really cool about the ATEM Mini is that it's got that USB connector. So when you connect it up to a USB 3 port, it sees it, the system sees it as a webcam. Your webcam is the ATEM Mini, okay? Which means that the 4 sources that are there, you can switch, and it's all one camera. It's not like having 4 capture cards into your system and taking up a bunch of system resources. The heavy lifting is being done by the ATEM. The output is going in eCamm, and then in eCamm, you can do your overlays and stuff. So it's like the best of both worlds. It's like that broadcast feel, the control of having a switcher, being able to cut back and forth between things, do fades, do all that sort of stuff. The tactileness of it without having to click and click and click and click and where's this and click and click. The tactileness is right there. The simplicity and power, which is a fantastic hybrid that eCamm has, is right there, and they're broadcasting fantastic quality. One person, by the way, doing it.
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
awesome.
Absolutely. You can do a whole lot there. And like I said, like we said last week, and we haven't said it this week, Church Media guys, we are iterating right along with you. We did not spend a month, even barely a day, setting up the Stream Your Church show. We want to show you what it's like to just start. Okay, if you go to the Church Media Guy show, you'll see a much higher production quality because that's kind of where we're at. But we wanted to really encourage you and model for you what is it like to just start. Last week was just us. This week we got a few lower thirds, we've got some slides, and we're going to continue to iterate and show you just how easy it is to continue iterating. And it's more important to start than try to start perfect. It's what's the word? You can either start or you can be perfect. Pick one. There's a bunch of those kind of platitude quotes things. So
I always say, I say in all of our videos that if you're waiting for perfection, it's never going to happen. Yeah. So just start.
Done is better than perfect. There's a whole bunch of those. So getecamm.com is the link if you want to try that. Or, if you don't have any money right now, you can have the 14-day trial. If you really are concerned, you can start with OBS. The important thing to stream your church is the stream part. You got to get started with what you have. And that's the 4 modes of streaming: selfie, indie, desktop, and broadcast. The important thing is just start. And while you're doing selfie mode, you can order your indie equipment. While you're doing indie mode, you can start experimenting and testing your desktop stuff. Once you get going with desktop, you can start planning and budgeting 2021. How am I going to get to broadcast mode? Because streaming live is more important than ever. And we're going to talk a little bit more about gear next week that matches each one of these. So if you have an iPhone 6, that's okay. You can go selfie mode, but you can easily triple, quadruple your audio quality with a $15 microphone. We're going to talk about in gear next week. Dave, you got anything else to say before we sign off?
The main thing is start. We talked about selfie mode. We always say that that is like the place to start. That is also a place that you should never leave, right? So selfie mode gets you going and now runs parallel with whatever other mode that you're doing. The reality of the situation is that someone who's doing this on a regular basis is using selfie mode, indie mode, and broadcast, and or desktop for various points, at various points for various reasons. Each one has a specific use case and is really good for specific things. Indie mode, every single person on your staff should be doing indie mode because they're part of the messaging in your church and they're part of the relationship building. Your family pastor should be doing indie mode. Your youth director definitely needs to be doing it. Your pastor, like I said with my pastor, hey, we're not going to meet tonight. We're doing this, we're doing that. I'm going to miss you guys. Pray for me while I'm traveling, that sort of stuff. That builds relationships. Right now, where we can't hug each other, we need to do everything we possibly can, through social media and every single possible vehicle we can come up with to increase that engagement, because we get yelled at or threatened with being thrown in prison for walking up and hugging somebody. So I'm exaggerating. That's a libertarian in me. But we have to be very careful. So we need to over-engage. And, dude, selfie mode is the place to do it. Live stream it.
Live stream it. Go change lives. Like I said, next week we'll talk about gear and all that stuff. If you have any questions, leave a comment down below. If you're watching on YouTube, hit the like and subscribe button. If you're watching on Facebook, like. And as always, if you want to give eCamm a try, go to getecamm.com. Now take everything we've talked about and go change lives.